right, welcome to the Hunt360 podcast. I'm E3 King. I'm here with founder of Hunt360, Jeremy Williams. We have a special guest, Alison Michelle of Alison Michelle Outdoors. Alison, it's great to have you. How are you doing this morning?
Very good. How are you guys?
Great.
We're doing good, really good. So we're proud to have you.
Thank you.
We're excited to learn about you and what got you into hunting as a kid and where you're at. I know you seem like you have tremendous amount of stories that are exciting to hear.
Yeah, I don't know about exciting, but they are who I am. I am from Central Illinois, born and raised there on a grain and livestock farm. I grew up hunting whitetail with my mom and dad and my three brothers. We did trapping, hunted small game. So the biggest thing was I just wanted to keep up with my brothers. I didn't want them to be able to do something I couldn't do. So that was kind of my drive. So winters were cold in Illinois, and we didn't have the awesome hunting gear that's out there now. So we would wear our barn clothes, our boots, our Carhartts, and I would freeze. And I honestly kind of hated it the first couple of years I went whitetail hunting. But I was like, I am not coming out empty-handed if my brothers are going to shoot something. So then, when I started harvesting them, I'm like, I was hooked. Yeah. So, yeah, and for years, my brothers got to hunt before I did. And so when we bird hunted, we never had dogs. And so I would have to be, I'd have to go fetch it and bring its neck and bring it back. So I had to put my dues in before I was allowed to hunt. But now I hunt more than any of my brothers, and blessed enough to go on a few hunting trips with my dad.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. You got the last laugh on that.
Yes.
Yeah. And now you're famous. You get to be on podcasts and
I don't
TV.
know about that, but yeah.
You're out doing them now.
Yeah, this is my first sheep show, so I'm used to a lot of the shows in the Midwest. Been to the Dallas Safari Club, NRA, ATA, that kind of thing, but this is my first sheep convention. So
what do you think about it?
I like it. It's I'd say it's somewhat laid back, kind of a smaller show, but a good crowd, very nice people. Everybody's here for kind of the common, everybody has a common interest, a common goal.
Dude, it's common interest, common goal. It's great conservation story that they
very
do.
much so. I think everybody has that in mind here and in their interest.
I agree. This is and the camaraderie, the people you meet.
Yes,
they're just great people.
Convention time's awesome because you see people that you might only get to see. Everybody's in the field most of the year, and January, February, March, we run into people that you see once, twice, maybe 3 times a year, and some you haven't seen for years.
And some you just get to meet.
Yes, I've met a lot of great, like you guys. We ate sushi together last night. So, and working with Brian, he knows everybody. So, deciphering everybody and keeping them straight, it's going to take me a little bit, but.
Brian is one of the most knowledgeable individuals I know.
Yes, I would love to be a sponge to absorb half of his knowledge.
Yes,
so,
I agree.
Very much so.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of people that think they know stuff, but man, when you sit down and listen to him and just let him, I mean, it's like, wow, it's over the top. And you almost can't absorb what he's trying to get out.
Information overload sometimes,
I
but
agree.
I just pick up what I can. And
such a great guy, too.
Yes, very good guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you do with Asian Mountain Outfitters and Brian?
I actually just started working with Brian at the beginning of this year, so I'm just kind of getting into it, but basically managing his clients, kind of getting him organized and caught up, and in the future help to grow his business would be the main goals.
Well, that's a big job. I mean there's a lot of putting together for all those trips. I mean, there's a lot to do there.
Yes, it's a little different than I'm used to. The hunting in the Midwest. South Africa, I've helped an outfitter there for several years, and so I know the logistics. I know what it takes to get your guns over there and get your trophies back. But his hunts are a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Kind of the same concept, but I'm just gonna have to learn the ropes there. But I'm excited. I've met a lot of his past clients, and we just met the auction winner from last night. So I'm excited to get to know everybody and help make it go smooth. And
so you said you about South Africa. What kind of hunting you do in South Africa?
So far, I've just done plains game. I went over with a doctor that I worked for probably 7-8 years ago. 4 years ago, I believe, maybe 5. I took my son, he was 8 at the time, for the first time he, had gone out of the country. So we went over and spent 2 weeks, hunted. He loved it. He wanted to hunt every day, but we ended up going to Victoria Falls and Kruger National Park, did a little touring while we were there. I'm like, don't know if he'll get back, and I just wanted him to be able to experience that.
Oh, yeah.
So that was awesome just for him to get over there, and, he loves to hunt. I mean, absolutely loves it. He loves his guns, loves to build guns, wants to talk ballistics. So he was all about hunting there. And then this last year ago Thanksgiving, I took him back with a group of friends, and that was, I'd say, even more enjoyable. That I didn't get, the newness of him going the first time and watching him experience that was awesome. But going back with a group of friends just to have fun, shenanigans, you get to experience other people's first time. The first day we were there, there's Cody is from my local area. He's my younger brother's age, and we run our Wild Turkey Federation chapter together. Well, Cody bought one of the auction donation hunts, and so this was his first trip out of the country. He's a big whitetail hunter, so this was new to him. And the first day, he was filming, and I wanted to experience some of it with him, so we sat with him, and we had a leopard come in. Very slowly, everything scattered. So we knew something was up. It came in and drank water in front of us. And people have lived over in Africa their whole life and not seen that. So that was, I just wanted to pinch myself. That's just what I love about hunting and traveling. You get to see incredible things like that. If you're not out there, you're not going to see it. And so I was blessed to experience that with my son and then Cody, I'm like, this is a pretty good first day in South Africa. So,
cool.
That is cool.
It was great. My trophies have been in Chicago waiting clearance, and the day I left to fly here, they're cleared. So when I get back, I get to drive up there and get them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So what all did you get?
This time I just shot a Gims buck and what did I shoot? A Blez buck.
I got you.
But yeah.
Those Gims bucks sure are pretty.
They are beautiful. I'm a bow hunter. I'll shoot a little bit with a rifle, but I love to hunt with my bow. And so my first 2 trips, I never did get an opportunity with the bow. So this one I was excited. I finally did. So my next mission is a dark male giraffe with my bow. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
How many yards did you get on the shots for him?
Oh, within 40.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, within 40.
So you hunting waterhole blinds?
Yes, most of them. Yeah, which is that's not really my style. I like to spot and stalk. I'm not really a sitter, but over there it's just
the way they do it.
Yeah, if you want to use a bow, that's mostly how you do it. I have the Diker and the Steambuck with my bow, and I'm trying to find, I've not found anybody that can tell me that a woman has, or female has killed all 10 of the tiny 10 with a bow. I know there's several men that have. And so I'm trying to find if there is one. If there is, I want to talk to her. But that's my goal. I don't have a time. I always set crazy goals. I want to get my Royal Slam on my turkeys before I'm 40. I have my Grand. So this year I got to get busy because I'm going to turn 40 in a year. But I didn't set a time limit. But in my lifetime, my goal is to get all tiny 10 with my bow.
So you're going for the Royal Slam turkey with the bow?
No, not with the bow. Right now I'm doing it with the shotgun. But once I get that, I would like to go back and repeat them with the bow.
Oh, So you got all of North America. You're trying. Oh, you got United States. Now you need to get the Gould's turkey. Is that
the
what
Gould and the oscillated? Yes. Right now everyone's telling me it's not that safe to go over there and don't go by. I'll travel a lot by myself. I don't mind going on hunt trips by myself, but they keep saying I need to find some men to go with me, and not everybody wants to spend that kind of money on a turkey. You either love turkey hunting or you don't.
I've shot a couple of Gould's turkeys.
Have you?
Yes, and it's just a great. Going Gould's turkey hunting is almost like going to Kazakhstan somewhere. You literally step back in time 100 years, and you get into these towns. Like the town I stayed in Mexico. When we turned off the paved road, we took a 2-track road. It wasn't maybe 40 miles long, but it took us 3 hours to drive that 40 miles because it was mountainous. Then you just open up into this little community.
That's the beauty of hunting, though. Yeah. It's like this little secret spot back down a road in the middle of nowhere.
So this little community was a cobblestone roads, little storehouses like side by side, all one little building down both sides of the street. Little town center square, but the town center square has like a building, like open, no barn. No walls, just open style building. And every Friday night, they have music. They play music. That's their entertainment. They have no electricity. Everything's run off generators. It was wild. Because when it got to 10 o'clock at night, they turned the generator off, and it was bedtime.
Lights out at 10 o'clock.
Lights out. And then you get up in the morning, and same thing. They cook your breakfast. It's just like it was 100 years ago.
And the locals were welcoming?
Oh, yeah. The locals were like crazy. They take you out. The outfitter he knew the locals, and they took us out because the only thing they did was cattle. That was their income source.
Beef cattle?
Raising beef cattle. So we would go out and hunt the turkeys on the beef cattle farms, and so many turkeys. If you hear one gobble, you better sit down and have your gun ready, because within 45 seconds, a minute, you're gonna see the turkey. And you know how you hear these turkeys? They sound like one's a mile away gobbling. Well, their legs are so long, they literally will be on top of you
before you know it.
And it's insane. And because there's low pressure, they don't have a lot of hunting pressure there. So it's.
And did you get 2 in one trip, or did you make multiple trips there?
No, I went multiple trips.
Yeah.
So it was.
So it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was.
I look forward to it. I can't.
So you need to jump on it.
I need to talk to you about where you went.
Yeah, you need to jump on it. I'll get you set right up.
Did you use their guns over there, or did you take
No, I took
them?
mine.
You took yours.
So I mean, you could use theirs. They have great guns. So most of the outfitters over there also do bird hunts as well, like dove hunting.
Oh.
So they have great firearms to
nice.
use. So it's a little easier to use theirs. But if you like yours, it's no issue. You just got to make sure you fill out the right documents.
Correct.
So it's no.
Pretty much anywhere else.
You
Some
cannot
countries
take.
aren't.
You cannot take your own shells though.
You have to use theirs,
You have to use theirs. Deer hunting you can,
but not turkey.
but not turkey.
That's interesting.
So you
No,
don't wanna
every country has its different. Every state, everywhere has its own rules.
Yeah, you need to make sure you read up on that, because if they catch you with shotgun shells, and for some reason they'll put you in jail.
I think I'd like to avoid that, especially in another country.
Yeah.
When I went to Argentina dove hunting, I did not take my own gun. I used theirs. They had Beretta 20 gauges, and I didn't really want to put that many rounds through my gun anyway, and theirs work. Why drag one over? So if it was my bow, obviously I'm not going to use somebody else's bow, but the shotgun I don't mind.
You should really consider taking your bow to the turkey hunt. And
Really?
You should really consider it, because you could do it. It's just a matter of logistics of taking it, but actually harvesting the turkey with the bow
is doable.
Is very doable.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah. Exciting thing.
What all did you shoot in Argentina? Dove and duck, or just dove?
Just dove. So that was my first hunt abroad. I don't even know. It was probably 6 to 8 years ago. I grew up on a small farm in a very good home with 3 brothers. Parents are still married 40 some years, and got married young, had a child, and life didn't quite go how I'd planned, and I pouted for about a year, and then I decided, you know what, I need to live life. Like, why let something that I didn't plan on, ruin my life. I just need to make the best of it and go with it. And so I started hunting a little bit, and I met a lady in Montana. It was an outfitter's wife. I'd went out there for an archery antelope hunt, and we were just talking, and I'm pretty tightwad with my money. I don't like to spend it. I'm very conservative. And she said, and like, people stop and get gas, they'll get a drink or some gum. No, not me. I would never do that. Just very, very stingy with my money. I'm generous, but for myself. And the lady said, honey, the next 10 years of your life are going to be the best years of your life. You can't take your money with you when you go. Tomorrow's not promised. She said, make them count. Do what makes you happy. Take care of your son. And after that, do what makes you happy. And that just kind of, I don't know why, but it resonated with me. And that lady has cancer. A couple of years after she told me that, she was diagnosed with cancer. And that really kind of hit home. So from then, I just, live within my means. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to live life. So the doctor I worked for at the time purchased, we were at an NRA banquet, friends at NRA banquet in our local town. I try to support I'm involved in a couple, but I try to support them all. They're all for conservation, a good cause, youth shooting sports. So we purchased an Argentina dove hunt, and you could take up to 5 people. So some of his family, myself, and a couple of clients, we went over there, and it just opened my eyes, to there's more than Midwest hunting. And I loved it. And so it was just a dove hunt. But it was interesting because the outfitters we went with, they had actually purchased their first bow at an archery shop in the town near me, and they'd shot their first whitetail in the county next to me. So I'm like, this is a small world. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just dove. But I tell people, if you get a chance to go. It was a blast. Like, to me, there was no pressure for a trophy. You just shoot until you can't raise your arms anymore. You laugh, you have fun, you play games. Like, you hunt for a few hours in the morning, come back, eat, take a nap, dip in the pool, go out in the afternoon, come back, they feed you. It was like a vacation.
It is.
Yeah. Most hunts, you come back exhausted. It's not a vacation.
Yeah, I had a trip booked to go down there and do the dove, do the duck, and life happened and wasn't able to make it happen, but that is definitely on my bucket list to go do. I've heard everybody said basically what you said.
It's
Everybody's
great.
had fun.
Yes. The one regret from that trip is we didn't go out and do much in the community or, see the locals or, eat a lot of the food or, we just didn't experience any of that. I think because a lot of us, it was our first time there. And one of the gentlemen we went with is kind of ornery and we don't want to get in trouble or end up in jail. So we just decided it was probably safer to stay at the lodge. But if I go back, I definitely would like to look at stag or duck or pigeon. So yeah, if you get a chance, make it happen because it's worth it.
Absolutely.
So, very much so.
I had the same sort of experience that E3 said. I had a trip booked to go to Cordoba, Argentina one time, and life happened, and I had to cancel it as well. But I look forward to doing it. Me and E3 might need to just pack up and go do it one day together.
You should.
I think we're on to something here.
Yeah, you might have sparked the interest here for us to get going here.
Yeah, you should. It was awesome. The one thing that we, now that I've traveled more, I've learned little things, but we went, our airline tickets were expensive, and everyone's like, we don't pay that much. Well, we went during their spring break, and so, the ticket prices were higher. I didn't know. Now I'm smart enough to know to look at stuff like that, but so you learn a little bit every time what to do differently, and, so yeah, it was a good experience. So that kind of sparked my interest to start, hey, hunt this, hunt that. So yeah.
So what's your so tell us about your outdoors. I mean, what your program? What you're doing?
Well, so I helped open a mixed animal veterinary practice back in 2003. We opened a second small animal one in 2010 and a swine consulting business. So I helped start that from an empty warehouse with 0 employees. And, now we have over 20 employees and 2 facilities. And it kind of grew. It was good to me. It taught me business. It taught me, work ethic. It was hard that, you open any kind of business. You put a lot of hours in for a lot of years. And, I got to the point where it was running on its own and we got more and more employees. And I have a son. I've been divorced since he was 3, so he's 14 now. And so my son's always been my priority. And I kind of just said, look, I want to get to where I can have school hours and, do my thing. And so the more people we got, the more I was able to, step away from the day-to-day stuff and travel and hunt a little bit. And so I met Jana Waller on a Saskatchewan bear hunt, a ladies' week, several years ago. And so she's introduced me to quite a people, and she introduced me to the people at Cryptech. And so I have the opportunity to be on their Ladies Legion, which is great because they're good people. I like what they stand for. It's great gear. And my whole life I wore, our barn clothes or my brother's hand-me-downs or hodgepodge. And, now I feel like a girl when I feel like a female and I look like a female when I'm hunting. So that's kind of nice. But I just kind of had a few connections. I had a few other friends that had shows. And so I just kind of dabbled in the hunting world. I helped my South African outfitter friends. They would come here in the winter and I would take them to shows. They would stay with me. I did their banking, kind of, was the in-between, with their clients. And I worked a couple camps in Alaska for a bear and moose outfitter. I went up and shot a brown bear with him, and so went back and I've kind of dabbled in it a little bit, and I just decided I don't really want to manage employees anymore. And with that veterinary hospital, the last 2 years I've stepped back and just managed the business and the marketing from home, trying to slowly make my exit plan and do something I want to love. So I found a way to make some money in the outdoor industry and hopefully to grow on that. So we'll see where it goes. I, started working with Brian Martin of Asia Mountain Outfitters this month. And so, that gives me a good base. I mill some lumber. Really, I enjoy that a lot. And so hopefully I'll take that a little bit. I raise honeybees. So I still have a lot to learn on that, but they're so interesting and intriguing to me, and I'm really enjoying that. And I got my dad into doing that with me, so that's been kind of fun.
Very special moment to spend with your dad every day, or
yes,
with the bees.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's almost 70, and so I've learned that every time I work on the farm with him, or we do something like that, or go on a hunt, that it could be the last time. So I kind of learning that family's important, and they're not going to be around forever. So I try to do. I had the privilege of being my dad's guardian on an honor flight a few years ago, and I also took him to Vancouver Island, British Columbia, with Sean Lingle to hunt mountain lion. And the day we got our mountain lions and that honor flight day, I would say I have 3 best days of my life, and those were 2 of them. I was thankful for the opportunity to, be able to experience that in Washington, D.C. with my dad. And then his mountain lion hunt. So my dad, he's educated, he's a farmer, but he doesn't really like to leave the county, the farm. He doesn't love traveling, doesn't use a cell phone, very simple, has money, but very conservative. And so when he goes on a hunt, I typically go well, I've started going with him. He tried to go on 2 mountain lion hunts and got 3 and got skunked with weather every time, just warm, no snow. So I said, just wait. I'll talk to some people I know. Let's do one on call. So Sean called and said, hey, we've got the largest concentration of mountain lions here on the island. They're big. If we get snow, I can't guarantee you a cat, but it's not hard to get one. So we're like, okay. And we had another one booked on call we'd pay for. But when Sean said this, I'm like, let's do it. So we got the call on Friday. I think we flew out on Sunday. My dad got his mountain lion on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I got mine. So that just, I don't know. It was beautiful up there. That I met Aaron Parada. He's probably one of my good friends now. And he's an awesome guy, just a good person. And that whole experience was just amazing.
Yeah, I bet so. I'd like to see some pictures when you...
I'll show you.
So how big was your cat? I mean,
they both made Pope and Young.
Oh,
so
sweet.
My dad's was exactly, and mine was 5/8 inch over. So, but they were like, we walked through swamps, and it was a pack out. So we skinned them out there. So
were
we
you
didn't
able to
weigh
get
them.
both on the same day, or?
No, my dad got his the first day, and then I got mine the next day. So.
Sweet.
Yeah, but we kind of got 2 experiences because his wasn't, we didn't have to track it that long, and it went up into a pretty open tree, but really tall. Like his was pretty high. Mine, we chased it for hours, and it took us a while to get in there, and it was a little interesting getting in there. And I had a window, a triangle. I guess you can't see on here, but I just had about 3-4 inch triangle that I had to feed my arrow through, to get a lung shot. The first one I hit the stick. The second one I double lunged it, but they're tough. Lunging, spitting, just spraying blood everywhere, and it was tough. It took off and went out on another tree and laid on a branch over a canyon. So we're like, we're gonna have to shoot it again. And then we're like, if we do that, that's gonna fall down in that canyon, and there's no way we're getting it out of there tonight. So we waited till he came back closer to the base of the tree, and I was able to put another arrow in him. But he still fought for a while. So I was amazed at how tough they were.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely tough animals. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
To live out there the way they live all year, and they're predators, so they're killing to eat, and to survive like that.
The one that my dad got had a full belly, and so I think that's why we got lucky that it didn't go as far. Mine did not have a full belly, so it was a little.
It was a little more lenient to run.
Yes, yeah, but I enjoyed it. It made it exciting, and I'm a little bit stubborn, and so if I harvest something, I want to be the one to pack it out. And my dad's old school gentleman, and he's like, let one of us do it. I was like, no, I want to do it. And he'd never been on a hunt with me where I'd hunted like that before, and so I finally was like, got them all to let me pack my own out. But I would say I was the last one in the pack. I was a little slower than everybody, but I did it.
I like that. That's cool.
So, I did it.
It is cool. It's just dedication, respect for the animal as well.
Yes. I just feel like the more of a challenge I have, and the harder I have to work to harvest the animal. I think that's why to me, I like getting up close, with my bow. I think that's why I like to bow hunt. And when I walk out with my bow, I'm comfortable with it. And so I just feel like, I don't know, the more of a challenge is, or the harder we have to work for it, it's more rewarding for me, just personally.
So what's your plans? Where are you going next? What you got? What's your goals for hunting?
Well, on my list, I really want a mountain goat, a muskox, and I want to go to New Zealand. Those are kind of I'll do anything. I like to hunt, so I'll do about anything. But those are kind of the next 3 high priorities. So my son started hunting with me here a little bit. I'm trying to draw bull elk in Wyoming, so hopefully I think I'm going to be able to draw this year, and my son will be able to. I hunt turkey every year in Wisconsin and Illinois. Obviously we hunt whitetail. I take kids more than I do. Like last year was the first year I'd bought shotgun tags in years because I just quit getting them because I always had kids with me.
Right.
My son's old enough to hunt on his own now, so it was it was awesome but sad at the same time, because I'd always had him with me.
So you gonna try to do the mountain goat with the bow?
I don't know. Aaron keeps telling me I probably just need to give that up and use a rifle. So coming from Illinois, we can't use rifles. We have to use a shotgun. And my dad's very old school. He was a Marine, and he always said if you can't shoot something with iron sights, you don't need to hunt. So we never used scopes growing up. I'm not educated on them. So I need to educate myself. I killed my brown bear in Alaska, I think a Russian boar in Texas. I'll predator hunt in Texas with a scope, and then a zebra in Africa. Other than that, I've never attempted to shoot an animal with a rifle. So I just need to get over it and get me all set up. My son, he's all about his guns, building his guns, the ballistics, the scopes.
Sounds like a little family time that
Yeah,
you could,
I know.
You learn from your son a little bit.
Yeah,
It'd
he
probably
definitely
make him very proud to
can
teach his mom.
me. Yes, and my youngest brother, he's a Marine. He's a police officer on a SWAT team, and so he's all about that. So I just need to go spend a few days on the range with them.
I feel like it's an easier transition from firearm to go to bow. I feel like once you start with bow and kill as much as you have with one, it's probably a lot harder to go to firearm afterwards.
It is for me. I really don't know why. I don't know. It is for me. I think when I have my bow in my hand, I'm confident that if I get an opportunity, that I'm going to make a good, clean shot. When I went for the brown bear, they didn't know me real well, and they're like, we are not chasing wounded bears, and they didn't know how tough I was and if I was a good shot, and on and on and on. So I'm like, fine. They said, just bring your bow anyway. So I'm like, yeah, fine. Well, they just brought that, and they told me to shut me up. And I was like, really? They had no intentions of letting me use it. So I had a buddy that had I said, well, can I bring a 300 Win Mag? I have a Browning X-Bolt 300 Win Mag. And they said, no, you need a bigger gun. I was like, I'm not very big. So I was like, what do I have to shoot? So they said, get like a 375 or a 458?
416?
416. I had the smallest gun in camp. But so I took my buddy's Browning 375 H&H, and I just practiced and practice, and it was fine. I mean, 15 to 20 at a time was about all I could handle. But when I got there, I was confident, and it was under 100 yards, so I made a good shot at one clean shot. But
So,
I wasn't as confident as if I had my bow in my hand.
So what's the story on the brown bear? How did it go? I mean,
good. Like I like to black bear hunt. We've done it with hounds. You get close to them. I'm not scared of bears. I think a lot of people that don't hunt are like, "Oh, a bear, you're scared of." I'm just not scared of bears. They don't bother me. I'll go out and bow hunt with a bear with no gun. But like a brown bear, totally different. Like they're just majestic. They're strong. They're powerful. Like I have a lot of respect for them. And I could say I'm probably scared of a brown bear. I'm not going to square off with a brown bear. So I went, and I'm thankful for it, but I can't say I had to work very hard for it. The very first night, within 2 hours, it came out under 100 yards, one shot. It was done. We didn't go after it that night just for safety reasons. We went back the next morning, and I teared up. I kind of cried a little bit when I got up to it, just like, wow, they're just majestic, and I was thankful for it.
And big.
Big, yeah, they're big. They're big. Mine wasn't a monster. It was a shooter, but not a monster. But I didn't care. It was an experience for me, and I wasn't going to go home empty-handed. So, yeah, it was good. And then I had the opportunity to go back and work in the bear and moose camps up there a couple times. And so I enjoyed that. A lot. But, yeah, I think in March is when I'll get my brown bear back. So I'm super excited to add that to my living room. I got a new couch and rearranged my whole living room to my house.
Fit the brown bear.
Yeah, I have 26 things at a taxidermist right now that will all be coming in this month, and so it's getting a little crowded. And my house is very. I try to keep it very tasteful. I have a little bit of OCD tendencies. Like I like things in order and not cluttered and not messy, but I definitely have animals and little neat things. You have antlers from different places. I've picked up wooden bowls and chalet. I have little memories from all kinds of my travels and my hunts. Walking sticks, just sitting around a campfire at night, I'll whittle over the course of the week and bring back with me. So I don't know. I like it, but I'm trying to keep it tasteful. So I've done a little rearranging lately, and I'm getting creative with my pedestal bases, and being able to put 2 and 3 animals on one, and so
that's awesome. Do you build? Since you're a craftsman, are you doing your own pedestals?
Well, I have a couple friends that have a wood shop that I spend a lot of time with. I like to mill lumber. I enjoy doing firewood. I don't know. Physical labor is good, and I feel good when I do it. And so I go out to the farm and help with that. But yeah, I've been milling lumber for the last 2-3 years with a friend, and this year I kind of got my dad hooked into it, on it. So we go through our farms and find trees that either uprooted, they're dying, they have a dead spot in them, and utilize the logs before they're wasted. Walnut, we're actually sitting here at a table that's black walnut, that's a live edge, and it's beautiful. I'm loving looking at it and asking questions about it. I have a dining room table we're working on right now that's going to be very similar to this. So but yeah, so we'll all use the lumber from that. I've had people make pedestal bases for me. I need to probably try one of my own, but I haven't attempted one by myself yet. But it kind of means something, lumber from our farm, and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It adds to it just adds to the whole piece.
Yes.
When it comes from you.
Yes. My parents built a log home, and the steps on their stairs and a lot of their furniture come from wood that, we had milled growing up, and we just had it on the sides of the corn crib and air dried for years. So it's kind of neat to have memories like that.
Yeah.
It definitely means more.
for sure.
So, what about you were telling me earlier about I mean, what your outdoor is it just a social following? You have a website? How can people,
I do not have a web.
Follow you?
I am on Instagram under Alison Michelle Outdoors, and then on Facebook under Alison Michelle. So yes, I do have a little following on there. And
do you have a YouTube channel too?
I do not.
Oh.
No, I've been just full time with my other job and just transitioning into the outdoor industry this month full time. So I have a website that's being worked on. Just got my logo finished, that kind of a thing. So yes, I will eventually have those, but not at this point. I don't really know where it's going to take me. You know, I've had a couple opportunities to have hunting shows, and I just decided that, you know, my son's my priority right now, and I don't really want to be away from him that much. And I love it so much. I don't know that I want to make my actual hunting trips a job. I don't know if it would suck the life out of what I love to do. You know, that's kind of my outlet to breathe and to enjoy. So I don't know that I'll ever go down that path. But like now, what I'm doing, I get to meet a lot of people, and you know, opens up opportunities to do other things. And I like to help people. You know, there's times that people say, "Hey, can you put this on your social media for me?" And you know, it might get them what they want, or it might steer people towards their business, or you know, I don't know. I enjoy helping people and getting to know people. So I'm just, more than anything, I'm looking forward to those opportunities. And in my area, I have very few female friends. Well, I really don't have any that, I have a couple acquaintances that hunt a little bit, but no one that's like really passionate about hunting or the outdoors, or like would do it every day if they could. I'm kind of a duck out of water in central Illinois. So I own some lake property in Alaska that I'm subdividing, and so I'm hoping eventually I can get a place there. I feel like there everybody kind of has a common bond and a common interest, and most people there love the outdoors. And you know, you go somewhere like this, you see a lot of people like that. And yeah, so one of my things, I've been trying to reach out to, you know, more females to help them. A couple years, I had a youth in the outdoors program that I ran. I got my budget through the Quail and Upland Game Alliance, and they're really just, you know, here's a budget, and people are great. Like I would put on my social media, hey, I want to start doing some shed antler hunts for some younger kids. You know, does anybody have any to donate? And I really thought people would be stingy, because I have people ask me all the time, do you have any antlers I can have for my dog? And I'm like, no, not to chew up, absolutely not. So I thought people would be stingy with them, but I was amazed that people that would, you know, a lot of them I had to drive and get them, but I didn't care. I got a couple huge tubs of them just asking once, you know. So people, if it's to help kids, people are very generous and willing to help. But I would do pheasant hunts. I would took some of the high school boys to an NRA convention. I had a UFC fighter that had a hunting show, and so I would take some of the high school boys down, and he'd pheasant hunt with them. Fishing clinics, anything I can get my hands on that we could afford, I would just, hey, who's interested? I'd take who I could, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I guess a year ago, I got to take, on one of my dove hunts, a grandmother and her granddaughter came, and that was their first dove hunt. And then the grandma had killed some whitetail, but never birds, and the granddaughter had never harvested any animal. And they, you know, to me, to watch them experience that together, to harvest their first, you know, animal and do a hunt together was awesome. Like it was, I ran, I think, 6 dove hunts that weekend by myself, and I was exhausted and tired. And there's days I'm like, why do I do all that? You know, but like moments like that make it so worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So one more question.
Yes.
I know you're a big bow hunter. So what kind of bow do you shoot?
I shoot, I'm a Matthews girl, I'm not going to lie. So I shoot a Matthews Jewel. I have when it came out, I got it. I just love it. It's like another finger on me. When the Avail came out, I purchased one of those, got it all set up, and my goal was, so they're both pretty fast bows. It's 60 pounds. You can get more speed with the Avail. And so my goal was because I want to harvest a giraffe, and I want to shoot it with a bow, and they have very thick skin, and you have to use a 2-blade. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this thing up to 60 pounds. I'm going to be awesome with it. I'm going to go over and shoot my bow. Well, I had shoulder issues the last 2 years, and didn't even get a hunt last year. I ended up having shoulder surgery. It's great now. I'm good for 2020, but so I did not go for the giraffe when I was over there last. But long story short, I just didn't love. I love my Jewel, you know, and I'm not one of those people that have to have the newest and the best of everything. So this year I'm like, you know what? There was a girl wanting one, and I was like, I'm just gonna sell it to her and, you know, get my Jewel restrung and, you know, put a new rest on it. And so I'm still shooting my Jewel.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm serious. I just love that bow, and it's small, it's compact. You know, I can spot and stock, I can run around with it. It's been everywhere with me. It's got a lot of memories. So,
That's good. Yeah, I have firearms that same way. That that have a lot of memories with. You know, it's sentimental.
Yeah.
I mean,
my son's the same way. Like he likes old military guns, and like this last summer he saved his graduation money and he roofed, and he wanted to get an M1A, a 308 he'd found in the Cabela's, I don't know what you call it, the library, the gun library in Wisconsin. We were coming back from a turkey hunt. So he saved us money all summer, and we called up there, and sure enough, it was there. And he got the guy down to $1,600. He was so excited. So we went up and got it. But like, you know, that kind of means something. It will forever because he worked for it. Some might have been his grandpa's, or he built this one, or, you know, he has a Mosin Nagant. Like those guns, I don't care what anybody says, those guns will go through anything. Big, heavy, long. But when I took him to Maine on his black bear hunt, he was, I think, 11 maybe, he wanted to take that Mosin. And I'm like, oh dear, like we're going to be running through the timbers chasing bears with this big heavy gun. But he was adamant he was taking his Mosin. So I let him, and sure enough, that's what he shot his bear with. But
that's awesome.
I told him, I said, you're carrying it through the timbers. So, but
he'll remember forever and ever. I mean,
and he took it out to Wyoming to shoot his cow elk, and we really thought it was over. It was getting close to dark, and I don't know. We ended up saying, we'll go up on one ridge, and the outfitter's like, just leave your gun in the truck. I've got mine if we need it. Well, sure enough, we got on one, and so he used the outfitter's gun. But he made it 300, and the ridge was 320 yards, and it was, you know, over a little bit. So he made a heart shot, and he popped another one off and got it. So he's a much better shot than me, but he's like, I'm going to have to go back and shoot a bull with my Mosin. So, yeah, he's sentimental about his guns as well.
Well, it's been very entertaining talking to you and learning about you.
Thank you.
You know, I just it's been a very good very good interview.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was nice to meet you guys as well. Hopefully our paths will cross again in the future.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Oh.
Don't you? I mean, we're always if you keep coming to shows, we'll be at the shows. So
yeah,
don't be a stranger.
Yep.
Please speak up when you see us.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.